Dharma. See the word, they put the word dharma first because even though these are the four other goals, artha, kama and moksha, but whatever follows that has to be based on dharma. Dharma is the foundation. So dharma means it could be translated in so many different ways. The rough translation is virtue. Dharma means what is right, what is appropriate according to scriptures. And again, when we say scriptures, which scriptures? We have thousands of scriptures in Indian Vedic religion. We have the Puranas, then we have the Upanishads, then we have the Vedas, then we have the Vedangas, then we have the Darshanas, and everything. So when we say that, then we have the Smritis, Manusmriti, this Smriti, that Smriti. So what do we mean by scriptures? So it is absolutely impossible for us to know what is dharma from the scriptures because you can't be reading 1,000 books here. So what do we do then? So how do we know where dharma is? So all this is condensed for us in the Bhagavad Gita. So the dharma is explained there in the Bhagavad Gita, and also in not so much in Upanishads, because Upanishads talks about only the last aspect of the Purushartha, which is called the moksha. But then, in order to get there, the foundation, dharma, is talked about. So that is how we know what dharma is, what is virtue, what is right, and what is wrong. So based on dharma, you seek wealth, you make money, we need money too. We need money because we have to raise a family, we got to send the children to college and school, so we need money. So, but everything should be based on dharma. You make money based on dharma, and kama, you fulfill your desires. Whether you seek love or whether you are in marriage, bondage. So all that thing, your desire should be fulfilled only based upon dharma. Dharma should be the foundation. And then if all this is fulfilled, if your artha, your artha is based on dharma, if your kama is based on dharma, then that will lead to moksha. For some reason, if this equation didn't work out, then this will not happen. Moksha will not happen. So that's what Goswami Tulsidas talks about, the four Purusharthas. So Dayak, Valachari. So again, I like to mention something here. It's literally impossible for every one of us, human beings, to know what is right as per the scriptures, because we haven't studied the scriptures. Even if you study the scriptures, like I said, there are so many of them, so there's no way to know what is the scriptures say. So then how do we act according to dharma? So the best way to act, the best solution is you should be able to act spontaneously. In other words, whatever action you do must be automatically in accordance with dharma. So how is that going to happen? So that will happen only when we realize the truth of what Patanjali says. Patanjali says, Ritambara Prajna. Ritambara Prajna means a consciousness that's completely filled with nothing but the right things. So what is that consciousness, and how do we develop that consciousness? The only way to develop that consciousness is through spiritual pursuit is by chanting Lord Shiva's name, by chanting Panchakshari. You may have habits that may not be in accordance with dharma, but the moment you start chanting Panchakshari, the moment you start chanting Rudram, your life will become automatically in coherence with dharma. So whatever the other things, that non-dharmic things that you are doing will completely fall out. So you don't have to remember what is right and wrong. All that you have to do is bring in the light of Om Namah Shivaya or Namah Shivaya or Shiva Shiva, bring in that light, and the darkness will go away automatically. So whatever is right, only that will stick. Whatever that needs to be done towards the ultimate goal of moksha, only that will stick. Whatever is life supporting, only that will stick. And the only time that will happen is that you bring in the light. And what is that light? That light is Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. That's why, I just picked up this picture, and I didn't even look for a picture of Lord Shiva. And lo and behold, if you look in this picture that I have on the screen, there is Shiva right there behind all this. So that's what it is. So So Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, which Goswami Tulsidas talks about. And also remember, Hanumanji is an aspect, is part of Lord Shiva. So Hanumanji is an aspect of Lord Shiva. Okay, moving along. Now, Buddhihina Tani Janike, Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehimai. So he says Buddhihina. He doesn't say Manihina. So Buddhihina, why does he say that? He is not, even though after he cleaning his mind, remember the first thing he asked was for a clean mind, right? The first thing. You all remember? That's how he starts, right? Nijamana, Sri Guru Charana Saroja Nijamana, Mukara Surai. So that is, he took care of that already. The mind part, he took care of that. So once after taking care of that mind part, now he is asking for three other things. Give me buddhi, and then give me, healthy body, and then give me knowledge. So mind is not included in this list because he asked for three things, but mind is not there because he did that already as the first thing. Because Tulsidas is very well known even in the Hanuman Chalisa to take care of first things first, which he did already. So what you ask, because if your mind is not correct, even your prayers will not be correct. That's why Tulsidas asks for a Nijamana Mukara Sudari. Let me clear up my mind so that way my prayers will be the right kind of prayers. Because if my mind is not right, I may pray for something that may be harmful to me. So that's why he took care of the mind first, set it correct. So when the compass is set correctly, or then the ship would be on kind of an autopilot. So you have to set everything correctly, which is what he did. So the computer has to set up right so it functions well. So he set up everything correctly. Now he is praying because I have taken care of the mind. Now the right kind of prayers are coming out. So give me buddhi, give me vidya, and then give me all those things. So having purified the mind, making sure that the mind will not trick or trap, the right kind of prayers are addressed. Moving along. Now the kleshas that Tulsidas talked about are explained in detail in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. We will go through them real quick. I'm sorry that today's class is a little abstract, but these are very vital information that you won't get anywhere else. Because if you pick up any book on Hanuman Chalisa or you go to internet, read the Hanuman Chalisa, all that you will read is that Hanuman's body is golden, Hanuman is wearing this, Hanuman is carrying this, Hanuman did this, Hanuman did that. So that's all you would see. But the real message you will not get. So bear with me. It may be a little abstract. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. So the kleshas. Let's talk about kleshas. Now, after having done the first part of the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, is called the Samadhi path. Samadhi path, Patanjali is a great scientist. He puts the goal first. He describes the goal. After describing the goal in Samadhi, but this Samadhi is the goal, and then he describes what are the problems you would encounter in reaching the goal. And then in the second chapter, he gives you techniques, technology to address those issues. And one of the major issues is the kleshas. So for that, he gives you a technique of what is called Kriya Yoga, and he defines Kriya Yoga. So tapaswadhyaya ishvara pranidhanani Kriya Yoga. So tapa, austerity, swadhyaya, studying scriptures and analysis of the self, swadhyaya, swadhyaya. Swadhyaya, ishvara pranidhanani, surrender to God. So these are all very difficult things. Tapas, how many of us can go and do a tapas? How many of us can keep reading scriptures all the time? No. And then surrender to God, we can't even surrender to our own, bosses or our own spouses. How can you surrender to God? So there is none of this is going to happen. So that's all. This combination is Kriya Yoga. So that's why Tulsidas gives you a very simple way. Do Hanuman Chalisa, worship Hanumanji, worship Ramji, and then these kleshas will be taken care of. So now here, why do you have to do this Kriya Yoga? He says Samadhi Bhavanartha, in order to get to the goal of Samadhi, and Klesha Tanu Karanarthascha. So your kleshas, not that they will be removed. Look at the word that he is using. Even if you do all these difficult practices, all that's going to happen, your kleshas will be only attenuated. Attenuated. We use this term in physics a lot. Your kleshas will be attenuated. You attenuate the radiation. So your kleshas will be attenuated. They're not completely going to go away. But then he tells you eventually how that will happen or what he can do to do that. But right now, he says they'll only be attenuated. Now then, klesha tanu karanarthascha. And the next verse, he doesn't define samadhi because he talked about samadhi before. So, but then the problem is the kleshas that won't let you go to samadhi. So he defines what are the kleshas. The kleshas are 4 of them. What are they? Avidya, asmita, raga, 5. There are 5 kleshas. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, klesha. So, why do you have to do Kriya Yoga? Samadhi bhavanartha, klesha karnartha. So, what are kleshas? Avidya, smita, ragadvesha, abhinivesha, klesha. So, then he will pick up each one of these words and define it. What is avidya, what is asmita, what is raga, what is dvesha, and what is abhinivesha. We will go through it real quick, which is very important. Now, and the next verse he says, in one of the verses, he says this avidya is the root of all the other kleshas. Even though this is one of the kleshas, it's like a part of a tree, even though it's part of the tree, but that's a root part of the tree. So the avidya, asmita, ragadvesha, abhinivesha, klesha, and then he defines what is avidya, which is here, which is such a beautiful definition, such a lovely definition. Only Patanjali can do it. Great scientist. Anitya, look at these words. Anitya, ashuchi, dukkha, anatmasu. There are 4 things he talks about. Anitya, ashuchi, dukkha, anatma. Anitya, ashuchi, dukkha, anatma. Anitya means something that is not permanent, something that is transient, something that is only exists for a short while. It could be a minute, it could be 100 years, but still it's anitya, or 1,000 years, but it's still going to go away. That is anitya. It could be a fraction of a second, it's still anitya. Ashuchi is impure. Dukkha, something that only gives you suffering. And anatma, things that are not really atma, which means not the real self. So taking all this, taking anitya, taking something that is transient, taking something temporary as permanent, nitya, taking this as nitya, taking something transient as something eternal, that is one thing. And then number 2, taking something ashuchi, something that is impure as pure, and then taking something that gives you only suffering as something that gives you joy, and then taking something that's anatma as atma. All this constitute avidya. Look at the beauty he describes it. There are 4 constituents here. So anitya we are taking as nitya, and then ashuchi, something that is impure, we are taking it as pure, and dukkha, that only causes suffering, in the end we be taking it as a joy. And then anatma, that is not the real self, we are taking it as the reality of the self. So all this constitutes avidya. In other words, what is not permanent? I'm assuming, or I am understanding this to be permanent. And what is not pure, I'm understanding, I comprehend this to be pure. And what is causing suffering, I'm thinking erroneously it's giving joy. And what is anatma, I'm erroneously thinking, because again the mind. So I'm thinking erroneously that it is eternal, or this is atma. So this is all avidya. Now what is this avidya, this root of avidya, and what are the other constituents, the other aspect of avidya he gives in this verse. Avidya kshetram uttaresham prasupta tanuvachinna udharanam. So which means this avidya, let me just get that word here, minimize a little bit, so get that verse correctly. Avidya kshetram uttaresham prasupta tanuvichinodharanam. So this avidya, whatever follows after that, which follows after that means this asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. So that is what follows avidya. So this it holds all this. Avidya holds all this in a very subtle form, prashupta, or it in a distorted form or in an expanded form. It could hold all this in any of these three conditions, in a very subtle way, in a distorted way, or in an expanded way. So any of these, like raga, your like could be very subtle. You may not know that you like something until you taste it, because that's your vasana. Oh, I like that for some reason, I don't know why. So, but it was subtle, but then suddenly it manifested. You think that you don't have a bad habit, but then once the environment is right, then because the seed was there in a very subtle way, then it sprouted right away because the environment was right, so the bad habit raised its head right away. So same way, raga dvesha. So the dvesha also the same way. So this could be in an expanded way, in a subtle way, or in a distorted way. So all this is. So that's a beautiful right there. Okay. And then moving along. So avisya, the tree of suffering. So this is kleshas that Tulsidas talks about. These are the obstacles to the goal of mukti. Avidya is the root cause of other four kleshas, which in their turn produce all miseries of human life. A closer study of the nature of other four kleshas will show not only that they can grow only on the soil of avidya, but also that of the five kleshas form a connected series of causes and effects. Because avidya, like we said, when he defined avidya, he says taking something not eternal as eternal, because that could be one of the causes. So that could be one of the causes for the other four kleshas. And then taking something impure as pure, that could be a cause reason for the other kleshas. And then taking something that causes only suffering as giving joy could lead to another kleshas. So that is how avidya contributes in the root of all the other kleshas. Now, what is, so we did that already, we talked about this, taking non-eternal, impure, evil and non-atman. Avidya is taking the non-eternal and then impure, evil and non-atman to be eternal, pure, good and atman respectively. Moving along. So, asmita, what is asmita? Asmita is a sense of I-ness. We talked about it. No, it's not the sense of I-ness in the sense of ahankara, sense of who we think we are. So I'm going to read this through. It's a beautiful definition from Taimani. Asmi means, which literally means I am. So asmita is the quality. It's one of the avidyas. So one of the kleshas. Asmi literally means I am. I am represents the pure awareness of self-existence and is therefore the expression of bhava, as it is called, of pure consciousness or purusha. So when you say asmi, I am, in an absolute sense, you are saying I am that eternal self. That's why Ramana Maharshi's message was all the time, find who that I is. Look for that I. What is that I? Who you really are? Who am I? So that was his message. I. What is that I? The real I. Who am I? We all know what we are in terms of what our thoughts are. But then the real I, find that I. That's what Ramana Maharshi said. Who am I? Look for that I. Inquire. So that's what Asmi means. So that is pure consciousness. But unfortunately, when that pure consciousness gets involved in matter and going to the power of Maya, knowledge of its real nature is lost. So the pure I am now changes to I am this, like I am a physicist or I am a scientist, I am this. Now where this may be the subtlest vehicle through which it is working or the grossest vehicle, namely the physical body. Now I'm going to explain this a little bit in the background of what we talked about already. Remember we said that we have the external instruments and then the antakaranas, so the message is recorded in the chitta. So this is where the concept of I gets messed up, because the external instruments and the ego and the mind playing tricks have recorded so many wrong information and digitized it, and then so what we are identifying with whatever was there, that I like this, I like that, I don't like this, I like this person, I don't like that person. So that becomes your I now. So this I, which is absolutely pure, became an eye of so many likes and dislikes with the kleshas of raga and dvesha, and the sense of wrong I, wrong who you are. So that's where the kleshas come to play here, and that was all started with mind playing tricks on you. So the two process. Now what has happened here? What has happened here in the process? One, you lost the real identity of you, and then the other thing is, now you're identifying with self, whatever was recorded in the chitta, through the microphone and the video of your eyes and the ears and the tongue and the taste and the sense of touch, all that stuff. So now the real I is not anymore the real I. Now this I is now far removed. The I that you think you are is far removed from the real I because of whatever the external instruments played and the antakaranas computed it and recorded it. Moving along. So what is raga? So that is, we talked about one of the kleshas, asmita, and then what is raga? Shukanusayi ragaha, dukhanusayi dveshaha. Anything that gives you pleasure is thing that is a matter of attraction. Anything that gives you suffering is a repulsion. So this guy is laughing, smiling here because something that gives him a joy, ragaha, he likes it. Something that causes pain, he doesn't like it. So that is dveshaha, he hates it. So repulsion. So these are all the other two parts of the kleshas. And what is the final aspect of the kleshas? The most difficult part, according to Patanjali, the most difficult aspect, aspect of klesha is the fear of death, or the tendency to cling to life. He says even the wisest ones are not free from this. So even the wisest ones, sarasavahi vidushopi tata rudobi apiniveshaha. The rudobi apiniveshaha, even the vidushas, even the wise ones, even the learned ones, this apinivesha, this klesha of clinging to life rides on them. Rudobi means it rides on them. So this is the fifth klesha. So, and then what we have to do to remove all these kleshas and then clear the mirror of the mind is there's so many ways. You can do bhakti, you can do karma yoga, you can do jnana yoga, and all that. So which is what leads to our next part in our Hanuman Chalisa. This message is here. So this is in verse 26. So in order to remove the kleshas, this is what you have to do. Manu karma vachana dhyana jo lave sankat te Hanuman chudave. When you say sankat, means is not your ordinary sankat in day-to-day life. This is the sankat of your entire life, entire birth cycle, entire samsara. That is the sankat. That is what you have to think that sankat is. It's not an ordinary sankat. Oh, I have a problem with my car, or I have a problem with my child. That is not the sankat. The sankat that Tulsidas is talking about here, the sankat de Hanuman Chudave, is the sankat of your whole life, or the whole cycle of birth and death. So how does Hanuman take care of that? When you do all this, Manu Krama Vachana Dhyana Jo Lave, means all the combination of all the yogas. You know, somebody cannot say I'm a dhyani, I can only meditate all 24 hours a day. No, you can't do that. You can meditate maybe early in the morning when everything is quiet. Maybe you can meditate. But what about in the evening when your mind is not quiet, when your mind is restless, you can't meditate. So you have to do maybe a chanting, vachan. And then sometimes you cannot chant also because you're not in the mood. Maybe you can do a silent puja, krama. And sometimes it's not possible all the three. Then you can do something mentally, man, you can do japa. So these are all the 3-4 ways of taking care of the kleshas and getting rid of the sankata of life. So, and then who talks about this beautifully is again Ramana Maharshi. Talks about it in Upadesha Saram so beautifully, and then we'll see through it real quick. So this is an Hanuman Chalisa. Manakrama Vachana Jnana Jo Lave. Let's see what Ramana Maharshi says about this. And Kayavangmana Karyamuttamam Ojanam Japa Chintanam Kramat. What that means is, in the spiritual parlance, in the spiritual world, we do pujas, we do upasanas, we do meditations, all that do. But according to Ramana Maharshi in his Upadesha Saram, this is what it is. Kaya Vang Mana Karyam Uttamam. Kaya means body, whatever went through your body. Wrong, whatever you through your mouth, like chanting what I'm talking now, is wrong. Manaha is mind. Kaya Vang Mana Karyam Uttamam. And then what are they? What we do with the Kaya and Vang Mana? Pujanam Japa Chintanam. So you do puja with your hands, which is Kaya, right here, Kaya. And then we do Japa with your mouth, like, with your tongue, so Vang. And then we do Chintana, meditation, with your mind. So he says Kramat. So one is superior to the other in the order. So what is superior to the other? So in other words, Chintana, meditation is superior to Japa, and Japa is superior to Puja, which is only the bodies. In other words, mind is superior to tongue, just blah, 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 talking about it. So if you do mentally, that's much better than blah, blah, blah. And the blah, blah, blah is better than just the movement of body. So if this have to be all in unison. So what you do with your hands and your body should be, and what you say with your word and what you think in your mind, they all should be in perfect harmony, leading to meditation. If that doesn't happen, Sankati say, nahi chudayenge phir. So this is why Tulsidas says very clearly, Mane Krama Vachana Dhyana. So all these have to be absolutely. So what you do with your krama, your karma, your hand, has to be what you think or what you say. They're all this, and all this will lead you to meditation. Otherwise it won't. So they all have to be in perfect harmony. I'm saying something, but my mind is not in what I'm saying, or my heart is not in what I'm saying. So then there is discordance, there is dichotomy, then there is problem. Okay. So Kaya Vangmana Karyamuttamam Pujanam Japa Chintanam Kramat. Then what else Ramana Maharshi says, reference to this Hanuman Chalisa verse? He also says, Uttamastavat Ducchamandatam Chitta Samjapa Dhyanamuttamam Uttamastavat Ucchamandatah. Uttamastavat, chanting loudly, like say you chant Vishnu Sahasranamam, or you chant Lalita Sahasranam, whatever Sahasranamam, or Ashtalakshmi Stotram, whatever you're chanting. Uttamastavat, that better than the louder chanting is Mandatah. Uttamastavat Ucchamandatah. If you chant very gently and softly, Mandatah, that's better. But better than all this, Chittacham Japa Jnanam Uttamam. The dhyana, the meditation is better than all this. That's why in Hanuman Chalisa also you see here, Manakrama Vachana Dhyana Jolave. So Ramana Maharshi also agrees with that, and he says the same thing in his Upadesha. Uttamattava Ducchamandatam Chittacham Japa Jnanam Uttamam. And then he also tells you how the dhyana should be. The dhyana should be like a river, like a river that is flowing, but like steadily. It's not like a tsunami in the river. It's like a steady flowing. So Ajyadaraya Srotasa Samam Sarala Chintanam Virata Param. Ajyadaraya, like if you pour ghee from a vessel, then it comes as one stream without breaking, like one line is just pouring that line. So that's how your meditation should be. If you're meditating upon Namah Shivaya mantra, that's how it should be, without break. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, or Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva. So without that break, like the ghee, line of ghee that is pouring, it should be like that. Om Namah Shivaya, or like a steady river flowing. And then the other example he gives is the example of the river. So Sarala Chintanam Viralata Param. Sarala means that easy flowing, steady flowing Chintanam, meditation and thought on the name of God is better than Viralata, than the broken one. So, you're chanting two names, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, already thinking about something else. So that is Viralata, that is no good. So that's the ultimate goal, but he gives you this ideal so that we all should strive to achieve this ideal. Even though it may be difficult, we should have a goal. So that's why all the saints give us the goal. Hanuman Chalisa does the same thing, Ramana Maharshi Upadesha Saram does the same thing. This is your goal. Because eventually everything has to come down to this picture right here. That comes to yourself. Everything has to quieten down. Everything has to come to that silent level. Otherwise, no good. Never get there. Okay. And then what else Ramana Maharshi says? Veda Bhavanat Sohamityasam Bhavana Vidha Pavani Mata. Veda Bhavanat. So Veda Bhavanat means better than the feeling of separation. Veda means separation. Veda Bhavanat, like me and God are separate, me and Krishna are separate, like Meera said first in the initial stages. So Veda Bhavanat, better than the state that Krishna is there and I am here, or Krishna is in that statue, or I am here and I am worshipping Krishna. Better than that, what is supreme is that Soham, I am him, I am that. So this is one of the popular meditation in India, Soham Japa Hamso, Soham Japa Hamsa Japa, all that thing. So I am that. I am that means me and my deity, my God, me and my Devata, they are one and the same. Eventually that's where it should lead to. So Veda Bhavanat Soham Ityaso. So that's Advaita Vedanta. Veda Bhavanat Soham Ityaso. Bhavana Bida Bhavani Mata. Bhavani Mata, it is held in esteem. That's the opinion. That's a holy opinion. Bhavani Mata, Mata is opinion. Bhavani Mata is the sanctified opinion, sacred opinion. What is that opinion? That Bhavana Abhida, without distortion, without dichotomy, everything is one. We're all one. Physics have established that a while ago, that everything is connected, everything is one. So I am one with that infinite thing. I am that infinite. So all that, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Sarvam Kalidam Brahma, I am Atma Brahma. So everything is that one unity, that unity consciousness. So that is what, eventually, that is what the Hanuman Chalisa ends with, that message. And what is that message? The message is right here. And then this, before that, we'll talk about again. This is what Patanjali says, Grihati, cognizer, cognition, and the cognize, and the process of cognize, they're all one and the same. So, like this sage is meditating, but he says, oh, I'm that, I'm one with that, eventually, so that's what it will lead to. And see what in Hanuman Chalisa, how does it end? This is how it ends. Pavanatanaya Sankataharanam, Mangalamurati Rupam, Ram Lakan Sita Sahita Hridaya Basah Sura Bhoop. Now Tulsidas ji wants all these things unified. He is unifying Ram, he is unifying Lakshman, he is unifying Sita, and he is unifying Hanumanji with them, and he is unifying all four of them into his heart. Pavanatanaya Sankataharanam Mangalamurti Rupa Ram Lakan Sita Sahita Hridaya Basah Sura. You all four come and unify with my heart, reside in my heart, so I become one with you all. So that is all the yogas, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, all is talked about in Hanuman Chalisa. So this is the real message of Hanuman Chalisa. Like I said, if they have the eyes to see and the mind to look through the obvious description of, oh, Hanuman wears this, or Hanuman did that, or Hanuman did that. Okay, that's all true, but then this is what Tulsidas wants us to understand. Thank you so much. We went over 10 minutes. That's because of our prayers. If you have any questions, we would address. If not, we'll say goodbye.